Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis, and I am so happy to have all of you here with me. I know that there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, and we're really blessed to have you with us today. I'd like to introduce this wonderful team that God has provided me, and I'll start out with Faith. Faith has been my assistant basically since the day she was born. We used to stick her on the podium to do announcements with me, and she'd sit up there and giggle and Google and do all kinds of fun stuff and bring a lot of joy to the announcements, which are usually pretty boring. And then as she got older, she and her sister started doing the affirmation cards at the end, which is kind of an usher function, but we gave it to them. And about 5 years ago, she became my official assistant. So if you're saying hi, hello, good morning, as we ask, to greet us, she's the one that answers you back as me. But she knows me as well as I know myself. She's lived 6 blocks away from my house her whole life. And her dad was a tow truck driver and used to bring her to my house whenever he'd go on these out-of-town tows, she and her sister. And so they grew up a little bit at my house. So she knows me pretty well. I do go back and look to see if there's anything that I may need to add, but for the most part, she's right on. And she happens to be our soloist too. And today we're going to do I'm So Grateful by Karen Drucker, right?
Yes.
And that's on Songs of Spirit 4.
Songs of Spirit. I'm actually trying to get it pulled up right now. Songs of Spirit 4, yes.
Okay. So anyway, thank you so much, Faith. We're so blessed to have you. All right. And then there's my partner in crime, the wise and powerful Oz. Oz was my first baby practitioner, meaning he took all of his training with me. And then he was my board president for a number of years and then moved to Florida. And we kind of lost the ability to have him in our service until the pandemic, and we went online with our services. So we're really blessed to have him. He's sitting in Florida right now. It says it's raining and cold.
Yeah, it's a bone-chilling 50 degrees here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that one January I was there. Yeah. That one January I was there was like 41. I could not believe it. 41 in Colorado feels so much different than 41 in Florida because of the moisture, but whatever.
It's the humidity.
Yeah, it's the humidity. But anyway, he's our practitioner of the day. He's available at the end for our 1-minute miracle, which I'll talk about later. But he's going to pray us in and pray us out, and he holds consciousness for the service. So thank you, Oz. We're so blessed to have you with us.
Thank you.
All right. And then I always like to acknowledge our adjunct music team. We have Albertina Giuffre, our special Tina, who sang with us from like 2000 on and just recently needed to take a break. So she's taking a break and we call her back for certain services. I think we're going to have her during December. I've got to talk to her still. But we'll have her for a couple services in December, which will be really nice. And we're going to be doing a Christmas Eve service, but I got a little twist on it. So let me know if you want to have a Christmas Eve service. If you don't want to have one, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go live with it, and you can look at it later if you need to. But it's a really special one that I want to do, and so keep it in mind. Also, Karen Drucker and Fairy Elaine Silver have provided music for us to be able to do music in the service, which I really appreciate because I don't want to just sit up here and be a talking head for an hour. So, and our topic today is the month of gratitude, week 3. So I invite you right now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift you and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
I know that right here, right now, God's presence is all things that we can see, hear, touch, and feel, or imagine are all existent within that one greater being that we call God. It manifests and expresses itself in each and every one of us, and in all we see and all we do, and all that could be and all we can imagine. God's force is limitless and eternal, and it is always present wherever we are. I know that there is a blessing potential in each moment, and I await that potential to burst forth, and I know that that is good and very good. And that being so, I give thanks and I let it be. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. I sure appreciate you. I want you to know that. I'm so blessed to have this great team. I don't know what else to say. All right. Say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. Let us know you're here. If you're joining us at a different time, just let us say hi just to let us know that you stopped by. It's like leaving a little note. There's a watch party button, which is a great way for you to invite your friends so they can see what kind of services we provide on a Sunday morning. And it has the added benefit of you being able to speak with your friends without bothering anybody else. They can get all their questions answered and what have you. So click on that watch party button and invite all your friends. Okay. All right. This next song is one that Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver wrote. And she wrote it while she was in her practitioner training. But it's a great way for us to remember that we're all connected by God, that life flows through us at all times, and it flows through everything on the planet, even beyond the planet. We're going to Mars soon, from what I understand. So anyway, it's a great way for us to remember that we are connected. So if you know the words, sing them loud and sing them proud, because you can't bother anybody. If you don't know the words, get them stuck in your head. It's a great way to, when you're feeling lonely, and especially at the holidays when you're starting to feel a little down, it's a great way to remember that there is no such thing as being alone and lonely, that we are all connected. Okay? All right, here we go.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night.
We are definitely all one in it. I love that song. Like I said, it reminds me so much of the tenets of our philosophy, which is that we are connected. All of life is connected. All right. So without further ado, well, let's see. We have somebody that just joined us. So if you're here, say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see who's here, but I don't have that ability with this software. So I appreciate you letting me know when you're here, just so I know I have an audience and who they are. So say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. Again, Faith will be the one answering you as me, but just know that I appreciate it when you let us know that you're here. And without further ado, I am going to turn this over to Faith, my faithful assistant. And she's going to be singing I'm So Grateful.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, and gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 So grateful. So grateful. I'm grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, and gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Singing, I'm grateful.
Couldn't find the button.
Feel that.
I love that song. That's another one that's a good, really good meme to get in your head, that you can't get out, because it does remind us to be grateful in every moment of every day. So thank you very much. You do it very well.
Thank you.
All right. So as I said, this is our third week of a month of gratitude. In the past, we have done, in the past, we've done 30 days of gratitude on Facebook, where people list what they're grateful for every day. But the last couple of years, because of the way Thanksgiving and all the other topics have lined up, instead of it being 30 days, we've had like 21 days to talk about it. So I have decided that the last couple of years we did 21 days of blessings, and some of you have been doing that, and I love it. I look at it as much as I can. I'm not on Facebook every day anymore, so I don't always catch it, but I try to find it whenever I'm on Facebook. So several of you have been doing that, and I really appreciate that, because it helps me feel grateful. I look at your blessings, and I just feel like I'm so grateful to have people in my life that are, that listen to what I say, carry it out, and then show me, give me an example so I can live my life a little bit better. Blessings and gratitude are really the same thing. It's not like they're different. It's just that, 21 days of blessings sounds really good. Plus, 21 days is the time it takes to actually change a behavior, or get out of a habit of doing something, or get into a habit of doing something. It takes 21 days of doing something daily. And so the 21 days of blessings, I think, is almost better than the 30 days of gratitude. But doing it on Facebook gives you accountability for doing it every day. Not that you wouldn't do it anyway. I'm sure you are, all of you. Because we're doing it as a spiritual practice, and that's what's really important. And the reason that I say this, what brought it up in this sermon when I was crafting this sermon, is years ago I saw this bumper sticker that said, "Bless." Let's see, how did it go? Bless everything, no exclusions. I would have said no exceptions, but they said bless everything, no exclusions, and that's kind of tough sometimes, because blessing everything without exclusions, that means that you're blessing some of the hard things in life as well. And it's I always say it's simple, but it's not easy. Right? And so it reminds us to continually bless all of the things in our life, even the hard things, even the things that sometimes don't feel like a blessing, turn out to be a blessing eventually. It's just, for a while, you have to experience the emotions around that. My good friend, Dr. Edward Villon, Reverend Doctor, I should say, he's actually the spiritual leader for our whole organization, says, "What a good time to practice when you are already feeling gratitude." I can't do the accent. "And what a good time to practice when you aren't." I love Edward. He is a Dutch man from South Africa, and his accent is just so cool. I love his accent, and I could listen to it all the time. Sometimes I wish I was in his congregation so I could just listen to him. And when I need some inspiration, a lot of times I'll check out his sermons online. Now that I don't have Dr. Marlene anymore, at least I still have Dr. Edward. So I want to recap what we've done for those who are visiting today, or probably later, those of you who find us and are not sure what I've been doing. So we've done 3 weeks of gratitude, and basically I've tried to make it about that. Like the first stage is giving thanks for that which we've already seen in our world, that which we've already received. If you're like my family, or if your family is like my family, we go around the table at the Thanksgiving dinner and say one thing that we're grateful for. And everybody, is grateful for a person or a place or a thing, or, and our business or money that they've gotten or whatever. It's just a good way for us to remember to be thankful. But it's not enough, right? It's not enough to do it one day out of the year. Technically, we should be doing it every day all year long, but But so I'm trying to focus for 3 weeks on it, for the month of November, pretty much. And so when we're grateful for things that we have already received, it's easy. What a great time to practice when we already experience gratitude, right? The second stage of gratitude is to give thanks for that which we have already created in the mind of God, but we have not yet seen in this physical realm. And I talked a little bit about the idea that when you go to a psychic, for example, they see what you have already created, right, in the mind of God. It's like if you throw a ball, if you fall, all right, that's enough, guys. Sorry. There's joy in my house right now. All right, that's enough. My Chihuahua is learning to bark. She wasn't barking when I first got her, and she's learning to bark because Smokey's teaching her. Anyway, where was I? So if I throw a ball at a window, everybody knows that the trajectory of that is that the ball is going to hit the window and it's going to crash unless I do something to intercept it, like I reach up and grab the ball or whatever, right? Everybody knows that that's the way it is. Well, reading, a psychic reading or a tarot reading is the same thing. They see what has already been created. They see the trajectory of where it's going, and they can tell you that that's what you've created. Now, the caveat here is that we have free will, and because we have free will, we are making decisions for ourselves in every moment of every day. And so I would never say, take that psychic reading to the bank because I might change my mind the next minute and make it all completely different. But the point of that is that it's something tangible that can actually be read. Like, I have created this in the mind of God. I haven't seen it in the physical realm yet, but that psychic or that tarot reader can actually see what I've created or experience what I've created and tell me. So I use them in a very different context. I use them to, I ask them what blocks are in the way of my good, and they're usually pretty accurate about it. And so I use that to work on myself. But I'm always curious what they see as a future. So I do ask them that question. I just don't count on it because I do know that I have the free will to change that anytime I want. And it's not that I am necessarily wanting to change it as much as whatever's going on in my subjective mind is going to change it. So, but the reason I say that is because when we're in a state of gratitude for that which we have created in the mind of God, but have not yet seen, we are attracting it to ourselves, right? In the first stage, we're grateful for that which we have already experienced. So because of that, we're attracting more of our good to us. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, said, what you focus on, you create more of. So if I'm focused on the things I don't want to see in this world, instead of on the gratitude for what I have or what I'm experiencing, then we're creating experiences that are like that. But if I'm focused on the gratitude for that which I have and that which I've experienced, then I'm going to create more of those kinds of experiences to myself, because gratitude is a magnet. Remember when you were in grade school and you had the magnet and the iron shavings, and you would hold the magnet clear up here and you would lower it down until the iron fillings would just jump up and be on the magnet? Well, that's the way gratitude works. When I'm in that state of gratitude, I'm attracting to me all the good experiences, all the things that I carry in my heart as I want this to be what my life is like. All of those are being attracted just because we're in that state of gratitude. And then in the second stage, we are knowing that we have created that by our focusing on it, our intent to focus on it, focus on the good, let's put it that way. We are doing our work to manifest, and we're doing all of that, but being grateful for the idea that we have created that in the mind of God, and then that is going to reflect in our physical realm, is also like that magnet that attracts that good to us, right? Because it's not that every thought is creative, it's that the preponderance of our thought is creative. So if I'm constantly thinking about what I'd like in my life and being grateful that it has already occurred, because, we take it and we make it a statement. If I'm grateful that it has already occurred, then I am I'm attracting to me that experience that I have been focused on, right? And I liken all of this to being in this vortex of, being in the calm, and everything that I want circling around me, everything that is the experience of life that I'd like to have is circling around me. And as I stay in the calm, in that center, in the eye of it, I am attracting into me all of those things, right? And how we stay in the calm, how we stay in that experience, is by gratitude. So those first two stages are about that. The third stage is about being grateful, because that's our nature, to be grateful. So we believe that we are made of God stuff. Quantum physics backs us up. Quantum physics says that everything is created of the same stuff, and that they call it the stuff of the universe. We call it God stuff. That the only difference between this desk and me and, say, the air is how fast those molecules bump up against each other. And that's what determines the solidity of it. Now, they don't call it divine intelligence. They just say there's an intelligence that knows how to do everything in the world, knows how to create, knows how to maintain, knows how to, manage all of this energy, right? And so we say that that is divine intelligence, and it flows through every person. Remember, I said we are all connected. Well, that's what connects us. It flows through us. It flows through everyone and everything, and we're made of it. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I don't see God as a person. I don't think God is a man or a woman. I don't see God. I haven't made God in the image of myself. Let's put it that way. We have a tendency to do that in religion. We instead are made in the image and likeness of God. That doesn't mean we have a white beard or white robes or white hair. We're not old men sitting up in heaven. That's not my version of God. My version of God is a divine intelligence that gives me free will, that says, you do what you do. Go do you, boo. But it provides me everything that I need to accomplish the world, right? And God doesn't know anything about poverty or hatred or dis-ease. God only experiences life as good, right? Perfection, beauty, love, health, prosperity. That's what God's experience is. That's what God's vibration is. So if we're made of that same stuff, then it seems perfectly reasonable to me that the object is to raise our vibration to that level and bring, instead of bringing the experience of poverty to God, we are bringing God's experience of vibration of prosperity to ourselves. Instead of bringing the experience of hatred to God, we are instead experiencing the experience of love, God's love within us, right? And the same thing with health. I'm not bringing disease to God so God can experience it. What I'm bringing, or what I'm doing, is I'm extracting the experience of health from the God within me. Okay. So knowing all of that, we know that it's our nature to be grateful. And so doing this spiritual practice of the 21 days of blessing, what we're doing is we're maintaining the vortex. We are staying in the vortex, and we are allowing ourselves to be that natural expression of prosperity or love or health, or all three, really. I mean, the thing is that if you're experiencing God and you're practicing gratitude, all of those experiences are going to be in your reality, because the full experience of God on this earth is us acting and being in that vibration and creating experiences that further contribute to the whole experience of the world, right? And we do that by staying in that practice of gratitude. And so that's really been the theme of all of this. Because the third stage is where we just know that we're grateful. We don't have to like think of things to be grateful for. It's just our nature to do that. So as I'm walking in the world, I'm noticing that I'm grateful for the trees, or I'm noticing that I'm grateful for, the other day, I don't know, this happens a lot actually. They mess up my drink at Starbucks. And so they always give me the one that they messed up, and I'm grateful for that. And then there's times when I get in line and I go up to the window and they say, oh, the person before you paid for it. And so I look at all of that as a blessing. Like everything that comes to me that I didn't set my sights on, so to speak, is a blessing that comes to me. And it's because I'm in that state of gratitude. I know that. I know that every time that I have that feeling of not enough, or I have that feeling of this isn't exactly what I want to experience, or if I'm all jammed up in the politics, or if I'm focused on all the violence and despair in the world, if I'm focused on all of that, I tend to have similar experiences in my life, in my business, in my personal life, everywhere I go. And if I get angry with those experiences, it increases tenfold. Like I've had an experience, where somebody really frustrated me, and then my whole day is about everybody frustrating me, right? And I've learned that the first time that I start to feel that feeling that, oh my God, I'm so frustrated, when I get into the state of gratitude for it, when I go, thank you for the reminder, I'm grateful that I have reminders to keep me in focus. When I go to that place, then all of a sudden, all these nice things start happening to me in the whole day. And so it really is the truth of our being to be in that state of gratitude. Now, being a minister is an interesting thing. We have to come up with 52 different ways to say the exact same thing every year. And so if I feel like, seem like I'm harping on things, that's kind of what it is. I try to change it up a little bit. I go to Edward's website and look at that. And I do those kinds of things. But every now and then I realize that I'm saying the same things over and over again. And so I do apologize for that. But it's really the only way I have of communicating what we need to experience. Now, Dr. Edward had this really interesting sermon from 2018. He lives in Santa Rosa. And I don't know if you remember, but in 2018, Napa Valley was burning to the ground. We lost all the vineyards. We lost a lot of, just a lot. Lost homes, everything. And, he has a congregation in Santa Rosa, and a lot of the people in his congregation lost their homes. And he was talking about what happens when you are grateful for a person, a place, or a thing, and then you lose it. Does the joy disappear? And so perhaps the idea is to be grateful for something other than that, something a little bit higher in vibration. For instance, one of his congregants brought him a sign from his home that his wife, that was her favorite one, and she had died a little bit before that. And the only thing that didn't burn down to the ground was this sign that said, love is all there is. Or love is all that matters, I think it was. And so he sent Dr. Edward that sign, and he was just overcome with this experience of joy that there was something that they could send to him as a reminder that they're still alive, that they still have, that everything is okay, right? And he went on, not Dr. Edward, but this congregant went on to create a company where they made these signs for people that were made out of metal so that it wouldn't burn no matter what happened. But teaching people to be grateful in the midst of something like that is an enormous task. Because, imagine all of this, right? Imagine that everything you ever loved disappeared in one moment. How would you'd be in grief for sure. You want to feel the grief. I'm not saying don't feel the grief, but what the way out of that feeling is to be grateful that you're alive. I mean, seriously, every time we wake up in the morning, every time we notice that we're still alive, that's something to be grateful for. But he brought up this idea that the way to practice gratitude, or the path to joy in practicing gratitude, is to be grateful for things that are intangible, right? Things that you can never, well, I shouldn't say that, because you can lose some of these things, actually. Here's his list. I'll just give it to you. Electricity, clean water, clouds, first responders, freedom of speech, the ability to marry his love. He's a gay man who was able to marry his lover. The ability to practice the religion of my choice, the kindness of strangers, the power of art, poetry, and music, the courage of the yearning of the human heart to know God, and the power of love to connect and repair. The mystery of being alive on a small blue planet in the middle of nowhere. The invisible that connects us and flattens our differences into nothingness, is how he put it. I just love that. The healing power of right choices, empathy, compassion, consideration, beauty. And just as criticism diminishes and destroys appreciation and gratitude, the notice of all of these things raises us up and amplifies it. As Maria said in The Sound of Music, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. And it's, it's intentional. It's not about avoiding feelings. It's about redirecting and connecting to a feeling, to the depth and beauty of this life. People accuse us of being Pollyanna because we choose to focus on the good. But I don't see that we are Pollyanna-ish at all. What I know is that I don't deny that there's stuff out there. I don't deny COVID exists. I don't deny that there's violence in the world. I don't deny any of those things. What I deny is that they have any power or control over me. And so while I practice, my husband had a lung transplant, and so I have to be really careful because he's susceptible to everything now. But I don't focus on that. I focus on the idea that as long as I practice common sense, let's put it that way. As long as I practice common sense, I have nothing to be afraid of, right? But what I don't do is give my power away to it. I don't say, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do that. Instead, I say, well, I choose not to do that right now because I'm going to protect Lynn. But I do it out of a state of gratitude that he has more life to live, right? That I have more life to live. It's been 4 years since my mom died, and I still have issues at time where I grieve her. But then there are times when I remember fun things about her and I can revel in who she was. And then I'm in that vortex of gratitude, of joy. Because I can remember how special and wonderful the time that I shared with her on this planet was. And when I'm in that place, when I move from that moment of grief to that place of being grateful for having the experience of having her as a mother, and for all the experiences we shared together, when I move into that state of gratitude, then joy exists, right? 5+. Has it been 5+? Really? Oh, God. Yeah, it's been 5+ years since she died. October. Well, it was October 28th, so it's 5. Don't push it with the plus. My sister's Joy is on here. She's reminding me this 5 years. But when we can remember what brings us joy and gratitude and being grateful for those experiences, we move into the vortex, and that's where we are creating the reality we would like to see versus the reality we don't want to see, right? And I'm not saying don't experience your feelings. Do. You want to experience them. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. And so we don't pitch a tent in the valley of the shadow of death. We move through it. And we get to the other side, and we are grateful for the land of milk and honey that we have experienced, right? I'm getting all biblical for a minute. I promise I won't go too far with that. But but that's really the epitome of what this month of gratitude is about, what Thanksgiving is really about. It's about getting together with family, and it's about eating, and it's all about that too. But it's also about being grateful for the life we have. Whether we like all the details of that life or not, we still need to be grateful for the life we have. Like I said, when you wake up in the morning and you take a breath, you know you're alive. You have something to be grateful for. If you can't think of anything else to be grateful for, be grateful for that. Because once we're gone, we won't have any life. So, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know where we go. I don't know what our experience of the continuation of life is going to be. But we may not be conscious that we're alive. I don't know. Nobody knows. And, it's one of those things where we find out when we get to the other side. I do believe that people are around us, that they have changed form and shape. Because when you look at quantum physics, it says, energy does not, energy or the world, everything doesn't die. It doesn't really die. It's reborn. Particles and wavicles, all the other things that they talk about, all of those just change shape. And when they change shape, they become something else, but they're still there. And that's kind of how I feel about death. I know that Dr. Marlene is looking over my shoulder all the time. I know that Dr. Kathy is. I know that Dr. Fred is. I acknowledge them at 11:11 because I know, and it's so funny, it just turned to 11:12 at the point where I felt like I needed to talk about that. But I know they're around me. It's just that I can't see them. And the other biblical quote that I like is, in my house there are many mansions. And I think that's what's going on, that, we can't see them because they're in a different, what is the word for that? Dimension. They're in a different dimension. And so we can't see them, and we can't, we don't necessarily can't touch them. But the knowledge that they're there, and the gratefulness that they're there, and the openness in our heart that gratitude brings, allows them to more clearly speak to us, whether that's in words or feelings or something else. We know that they're there. And so I remember how special those times with my mom were. And I remember how special those times with Fred and Kathy were. And I remember how special those times with Marlene were. And because of that, my heart just bursts open wide when I remember that, because my heart fills with gratitude, and because that is my nature, right? And so when we lose, it doesn't matter whether it's a person or an animal or your house. Good. Joy's, well, we've always had one mind. It's so funny. Joy and I are 13 years apart, but we act like twins. For some reason, we catch on to each other's vibration. I don't know. You probably said it, and that's when it popped into my head, probably. It used to be funny because at meals and things, I would think, God, I'd really like some pepper on that. And she'd just pick up the pepper shaker and hand it to me, and I'd be like, okay. Yes, ma'am, she said. So anyway, it's the joy of remembering the people, places, and things that have gone that keep us in that state of gratitude, because I'm grateful for the time I've had with every dog I've ever had. I'm grateful for the time I had with my mother. I'm grateful right now for the time that I have with my sister and the rest of my family. But there's a piece of that gratitude that is reserved specially for those that have gone on. And when I practice that, I find that the grief sort of disappears. It can't take hold anywhere. Again, I don't give power and control over to it. I do allow myself to feel it, because we're not in denial of having those feelings. And we don't practice spiritual bypass. We do acknowledge that we're having that feeling, but we try to move through it as best we can. So I have given you several things that you can do to practice spiritual gratitude, a spiritual practice of gratitude. The first one, starting out your day, You can either be like my friend, Reverend Dr. Marjorie Stamm, and say, praise God, this is the day that God has made. Or you can listen to Karen Drucker's I'm grateful for this day. Whatever way signals to you that you're in gratitude first thing in the morning, because it's important. Set up your day that way. Start your day with gratitude. That's the best way to start any day forever. Not just in the month of gratitude, not just one day, but every day for the rest of your life. And then taking gratitude breaks all day long. Like I was saying, I think it was last week, where I'm sitting at my computer and while something's processing or, it just takes time for something to happen. I just sit there and think, what am I grateful for? And allow myself to get into that feeling of gratitude. Sometimes it's recalling the funny things that my mom and I experienced. We used to have giggle bursts, that kind of stuff. Being grateful for being able to pay your bills. Every time you write a check, or if you're doing it online, there's a memo field, thank you, God. And again, it's not somewhere out here, God. It's the God within me. Thank you. I'm grateful that I have the money to pay these bills. And then at night, your gratitude journal. I always say, if you can't think of anything to be grateful for your sheets or socks or comfort, whatever. But work on your list of intangible things, like Edward's list is. Dr. Edward, I keep forgetting to say doctor. He's a friend to me, so it's like, think about those things. The right to practice your own religion, breath. Gosh, even being grateful for your breath. But if you compile a list like he did, then when you go to bed at night, you can read through that list because you want to end your day with gratitude. You want to go to sleep with gratitude in your heart, because that's what's going to be very powerful and set you up for a beautiful night's sleep, as well as feeling refreshed in the morning. Will you do that with me this week and forever, but this week in particular? All right, let's have a prayer. I just move my awareness now to the infinite power, the infinite presence, the infinite life of God. To that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how powerful God is. For God is simply all there ever has been, all there ever will be, and all there is right here, right now. Only God. One power, one presence, one life, one love. Only one. And so that is where I find myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through all of life and flows through me. I know the same truth to be so for each of the members of this team that God has provided me to manage. For Lynn, for Tina, for Faith, for Oz, for Karen, for Elaine, for Tina. We are one in that life of God. It flows through us so easily and effortlessly to the doingness that we do in service to God. And every thought, every action, every deed is led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through all of us. I know the same truth to be so for everyone here today or listening later. For we are connected by it, through it, as it. There's no place where one leaves off and the other begins. There's only the one. And every thought, every action, every deed is led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through us. That connection cannot be broken. That connection is so real it can be touched. Mitaku Yasin, all my brethren, we are all related. We are all one. So I bless this coming week with moments of sheer joy from the gratitude we are experiencing, for the ability to have gratitude as our theme this month. I know as we all gather for Thanksgiving, or sometimes my sister and I gather online instead, but as we gather for Thanksgiving in our hearts and in our minds, whether we're in physical presence or not, we feel that overwhelming sense of the gratitude of life, for our ability to have another Thanksgiving, for our ability to enjoy all the goodies of Thanksgiving now and forever. So I just know that these experiences happen this week for us as we focus our intent and our intention on the gratitude of life. Our hearts fill even more with that gratitude. And so I know the same truth to be so for every name that is in the ministry of prayer today, because I know that whatever experience they are having, the gratitude of knowing God fills the void of anything that feels lost, that it rises up from within to fill our soul with gratitude. And I'm knowing right now that as I pull back the veil and reveal this power, this truth, that they experience it in real time. So I claim it in their name right here and now. The gratitude, the joy, the love, the peace, the blessings. The feeling of knowing that we are not alone, that we are connected. I expose that as I pull back the veil, and I claim it for them in their name as good and very good. And so my heart fills with gratitude that this is so. To be of service in this way, I am full and filling and pouring over with gratitude. And so I just let this be. And so it is. Amen. Ooh, sometimes it's a little hard to come back from that and then jump right into, okay, business now. God. I wish there was some segue I could make into that would make this an easier process. Now is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express gratitude for that which you have seen already in the physical realm, and that which you have created in the mind of God, and but you have not yet seen in physical reality. It's so weird when in a minute I'm going to ask you to go to www.oasiscsl.org, and I know what's missing. We used to have music in between. Like I would pray, and then there would be music, and then we would do business when we were in the facility. That's probably what it is. I don't know. Anyway, in a minute, I'm going to have you go to www.oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page is the offering affirmation that we want to do to bless the money that we are giving. And then underneath that is a contribute now button. So I want to talk a little bit about what you're contributing to. You are contributing to the vision of God's message getting out into the world and uplifting and inspiring every person on the planet, even in the universe. Maybe there's people on Mars, who knows? But that would be what you're contributing to. We don't have a facility, so there's no rent. The minister's salary is gone. Utilities are gone. All of that stuff is gone. So what we're using that money for is to market our services so that the world is uplifted and inspired one person at a time. We already have people from the UK, Germany, and Holland tuning in. But I'd like to stretch out and reach the entire world, even if that means Mars. If there's life on Mars, I hope they listen. But I'm just saying, like, that's what you're contributing to. And so feel good about that contribution, because it is really doing God's work when you contribute. All right. So I'm going to say right now, go to whether you're watching in real time or you're coming back later and watching it later. Please now go to www.oasiscsl.org and say this offering affirmation with me. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive, and so it is. All right, hit that contribute now button, and let's get this world started. Get this party started in the world. I don't know how you want to say that, but whatever. All right. Let's see. I have a few announcements here. We have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners coast to coast that is our ministry of prayer that we call our God Squad. And we have them praying on your requests every day for a week. So if you would like prayer for something, in the comment section, type what you would like prayer for. If you don't want it to be public, DM Faith or myself, and we will make sure that it gets on the private facing group page on Facebook for our God Squad. And if you are not a licensed practitioner, but you are willing to do affirmative prayer every day for a week, and that means no beseeching, no asking, only affirmative prayer, and keep those prayer requests confidential, meaning you don't even discuss it with any of your family, your husband, anybody. And you have a desire to serve in that capacity, say yes in the comment section, and Faith will add you as a God Squad member to our private facing group page. Our practitioners, our licensed practitioners, are also available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. It's not a, yeah, that's something else. Sorry, I got distracted. So if you would like a session with one of our practitioners, reach out to them by video, you can email them or you can send them a message through Facebook, whatever, and tell them that you would like an appointment, and they will tell you how to pay for it. That'll either be Cash App or Venmo or Wise or PayPal. Each practitioner has their own business, so I don't get involved in payments or anything like that. And each practitioner decides how they want to do the form of payment. So anyway, reach out to them, let them know. They'll let you know how to pay for it, and then they will reach out to you by video chat at the appointed time. And then please know that OS is available after the service for our 1-minute miracle. And that's not a time for counseling, not a time for spiritual guidance. It's only a time where you can share what you are experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. So reach out to him by video chat. And if he doesn't answer right away, it probably means he's on with someone else. So just try back later. All right. We have some wonderful people that we like to support because they support us. There we go. Brooks and Bailey is a good one. This is a mala bead necklace. This one's made out of amethyst. They sell mala bead necklaces and bracelets. The mala beads are really good for counting your affirmations. I always say do 100 affirmations a day. There's 108 beads on a mala bead necklace and 54 on the bracelets. But you can, all the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, and you can contact them by brooksandbailey0307@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to them through Facebook because they have a Facebook page. Okay, Faith?
And please check out the Mystic Brew. We have been trying to do the 2 weeks leading up to Thanksgiving of gratefulness. So please check us out and follow us at the Mystic Brew 303. The website no longer works. However, you still can order product through messaging us on Instagram and Facebook. We have intention jars as well as kits to make them yourself so that you can work on whatever intention you are currently focusing on through meditation or other spiritual practices, as well as we have bath salts that have different herbs and essential oils in there to help attract whatever you are currently working on as well.
Okay. This is the intention jar that Faith made me a while back. It's losing its wax because it's been used so much for prosperity. But this is what they look like. And this is $15, right, Faith? Yeah. Okay. Um, they have other ones. They have smaller ones and bigger ones and whatever. All right. And then we have an adjunct to that, which is the Etsy store for Angel Renee. She has intention candles and she has intention tea bags that you put into your bath, and the smell, the aroma of the herbs that she puts in there helps you focus and get clarity on what you're trying to work with. All right. Then I also want to invite you to go to Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver's website. You'll look there and see what CD you want, and then you'll have to reach out to her by email to let her know, because she can't update her website for some reason. So she has no way to tell you what her form of payment is. And she travels around the country singing, and always has the DVD or the CDs in her trunk, and is really good at, when you say you want it and you pay for it, she ships it off that day. So anyway, check that out. And then check out Karen Drucker's website. Hers works. So you can buy that right there on the website. You can buy it by the song, by the CD, the songbook, a bunch of different ways. She even has karaoke stuff that you can buy. So check out her website and buy from her. We really appreciate these two ladies so much because we can do our music. Otherwise, we would not be able to, because Facebook shuts us down when we try to do contemporary music. So anyway, and then check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. We have video sermons of the last 3 years, and we have audio sermons of all the years prior. I've been very busy uploading because I used to have, just the minute I downloaded it from this software, it would go right into YouTube, but it doesn't do that anymore. So I'm having to catch up. So I'm caught up to November of last year. And so check us out. That's S. Tucker on YouTube and on SoundCloud. YouTube has the videos and SoundCloud has the audios. And of course, our website is not updated with these ones because I have to get them up to YouTube first and then download them to the website. So it's just always so interesting, a process. It's a process. But I will get all of that worked out very shortly. I will have, everything available. But you can also see all kinds of things, like you get a sense of our congregation from the pictures that are there. My ordination is there. Lynn's ordination is there. One of the church picnics is there. Some of our Christmas photos are there. A Halloween photo, I think, is in there. I think we have some Halloween photos. But it gives you a sense of who the people in our congregation are. So it's a great way to see what our family, our spiritual family, is like. So check us out. And let's go into our closing song really quickly here. I know I'm running late. I apologize.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I
And I know right here, right now, the blessings of God uplift and enfold each and every one of us as we move forward into the week, that we move forward into the presence and being of God, and that God uplifts and supports all that we see and all that we do, all that we can imagine and all that we will become. It is all one in this greater being of God. I know this is good and very good, and I let it be so, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much for being here. We know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning. We're blessed to have you with us. Tune in next week and every week for at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. We are going to be starting our series on Christmas here. So we do the Advent series, and so we rearrange the topics according to when Hanukkah is. So we can do hope on Hanukkah. So tune in and be here next week for sure. We're going to start. I don't know which topic we're going to start with, but we're going to start the Advent topics next week. In the meantime, stay safe, wear a mask. We love you. Bye.